TV7 Israel News is made possible thanks to your generous donations. Shalom and good evening. This is TV7 Israel News broadcast to you from Jerusalem. And in today's top stories, the U.S. administration remains committed to the security of the State of Israel, considering it to be the United States' most important strategic partner in the Middle East. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu held a phone conversation with Bahraini Crown Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, during which the two leaders discussed ways to quickly capitalize on the Abraham Accords. Egypt vows to drive out Turkey from its western neighbor Libya. The U.S. administration remains committed to the security of the State of Israel, considering it to be the United States' most important strategic partner in the Middle East. In opening remarks at a Pentagon meeting between Israeli Defense Minister Benny Gantz and U.S. Defense Secretary Mark Esper, the latter stressed that a cornerstone to the strong U.S.-Israel alliance is rooted in the defense relationship between the two countries, which includes, among others, preserving Israel's qualitative military edge in the region.
Across that long history, though, the defense relationship between the United States and Israel has never been stronger, and we intend to keep it that way. I know we have a lot to cover today, but I do want to say up front for everyone that a cornerstone of our defense relationship is preserving Israel's qualitative military edge in the region. The United States is committed to that, and the Department of Defense is committed to that imperative. And we will continue to support the long-standing U.S. priority to maintain Israel's QME.
While the meeting included talks on shared concerns vis-à-vis the Middle East, chiefly the threat posed by the Islamic Republic of Iran and its proxies, discussions also focused on Washington's pledge to assure Jerusalem's regional qualitative military edge at a time when the U.S. is reportedly in advanced stages of negotiations with the United Arab Emirates over procurement of the fifth-generation F-35 stealth fighter aircraft. It is important to explain that the sale of the sophisticated aircraft would inevitably and significantly diminish Israel's military superiority in the region. Therefore, an open channel has been established between Washington and Jerusalem to alleviate Israeli concerns.
The Middle East is an unstable region. I think the only stable place within it is the State of Israel, or one of the most stable places in the Middle East. And as I always say, we have no other United States, nor do you have any other Israel. We will make sure together to keep those bonds active and close to one another. It has to do with QME. Also has to do with lots of cooperation that we have.
Turning to Jerusalem, where Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu held a phone conversation with Bahraini Crown Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, during which the two leaders discussed the recently signed Abraham Accords and agreed to work toward adding proactive substance to the agreement.
שוחחתי עם יורש העצר של בחריין, הנסיך סלמן בן חמד. שיחה יוצאת מן הכלל, מאוד ידידותית, וחזרנו על העקרונות של הסכמי אברהם, ודיברנו איך אנחנו בעצם יוצקים תוכן מהיר להסכמים בין בחריין וישראל, הופכים את השלום הזה, שלום כלכלי, שלום טכנולוגי, שלום תיירותי, שלום בכל אחד ואחד מהתחומים הללו, ואתם תשמעו על הצעדים המעשיים בקרוב מאוד.
In contrast to Jerusalem's apparent excitement over the abundance of prospects of so-called good fruit that derives out of the peace agreements with regional actors, the Palestinian leadership is seemingly exacerbating its efforts to thwart Israeli normalization with the Arab world. Speaking from the West Bank city of Ramallah, Foreign Minister Riyad al-Maliki announced the Palestinian leadership's decision as an act of protest to quit the chairmanship of the Arab League.
قررت دولة فلسطين التنازل والتخلي عن حقها في ترأس مجلس الجامعة في دورته الحالية، لأنه لا يشرفها أن تشاهد هرولة العرب نحو التطبيع خلال رئاستها. وكون قرار الهرولة قد اتخذ في واشنطن فليس من المجدي بذل المزيد من الجهد في إقناع أحد بعدم التطبيع خاصة وأنهم ليسوا أصحاب قرار.
Despite the vocal Palestinian frustration, U.S. President Donald Trump asserted in a speech to the United Nations General Assembly that the groundbreaking peace deals between Arab nations and Israel are the dawn of a new Middle East.
These groundbreaking peace deals are the dawn of the new Middle East. By taking a different approach, we have achieved different outcomes, far superior outcomes. We took an approach, and the approach worked. We intend to deliver more peace agreements shortly, and I have never been more optimistic for the future of the region. There is no blood in the sand. Those days are hopefully over.
Among the global leaders who, one after another, addressed the World Party's General Assembly, Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan seized the opportunity to condemn the American peace efforts while reiterating his pledge to provide Ankara support to the Palestinian people. Separately, President Erdogan went on to defend Turkey's involvement in Libya.
Libya'nın meşru hükümetinin yardım çağrısına somut cevap veren ve destek sağlayan tek ülke Türkiye olmuştur. Libya'da kalıcı siyasi çözümün Libyalılar tarafından yürütülecek kapsayıcı ve kapsamlı diyalog yoluyla tesis edilebileceğine inanıyoruz.
In response, the leader of Turkey's main regional rival, Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, condemned the international community's inaction in all that pertains to Libya, while further vowing to put an end to the blatant interference of Turkey, which aims to turn Libya into a vassal state.
إن تداعيات الأزمة لا تقتصر على الداخل الليبي، لكنها تؤثر على أمن دول الجوار والاستقرار الدولي. وإن مصر عازمة على دعم الأشقاء الليبيين لتخليص بلدهم من التنظيمات الإرهابية والميليشيات، ووقف التدخل السافر من بعض الأطراف الإقليمية التي عمدت إلى جلب المقاتلين الأجانب إلى ليبيا، تحقيقاً لأطماع معروفة وأوهام استعمارية ولا عهدها.
In apparent support to the Egyptian position vis-à-vis Libya, French President Emmanuel Macron declared the need to speak up for Libya and its neighbors for the purpose of a political solution under the auspices of the United Nations. President Macron went on to address the tensions between Turkey and Europe over the maritime dispute in the Eastern Mediterranean.
Nous respectons la Turquie, nous sommes prêts au dialogue avec elle, mais nous attendons qu'elle respecte la souveraineté européenne, le droit international et apporte des clarifications sur son action en Libye comme en Syrie.
And while Paris, alongside its major European partners in London and Berlin, continue to reject Washington's approach toward Tehran, President Macron highlighted the need to hold Iran accountable for its breaches of the 2015 nuclear agreement.
La stratégie de la pression maximale engagée depuis plusieurs années n'a pas permis à ce stade de mettre fin aux activités déstabilisatrices de l'Iran, ni de nous assurer qu'il ne pourra pas se doter de l'arme nucléaire. C'est pourquoi la France, qui, vous vous en souvenez, n'est pas le pays qui a initié à l'époque la négociation, puis conçu l'accord du JCPOA. Mais la France, avec ses partenaires allemands et britanniques, maintiendra son exigence de mise en œuvre pleine et entière de l'accord de Vienne de 2015 et n'acceptera pas les violations commises par l'Iran.
Iranian President Hassan Rouhani, for his part, seized the global stage to portray the Islamic Republic of Iran as a victim to the bullying of the United States.
همه ما در جهان دوران سختی را سپری می‌کنیم، اما ملت من به جای برخورداری از همکاری جهانی با سخت‌ترین تحریم‌های تاریخ در نقض آشکار و اساسی منشور ملل متحد، توافقات بین المللی و قطعنامه 2231 شورای امنیت مواجه است.
While the Iranian leader complained to the international community over his perceived injustice by U.S. measures against the Islamic Republic, A weapons cache belonging to the Lebanese Iranian proxy Hezbollah exploded in a populated area of Lebanon's southern, predominantly Shiite Muslim village of Ain Qana. According to a security source, at least 7 individuals were injured in the blast, which was said to be caused by a technical error. Consequently, local sources told TV7 that Hezbollah militants flooded into the area and blocked all entry to journalists and Unifield personnel who sought to investigate the incident. Unifield did not immediately respond to TV7's request for comment. Now turning to Beirut, where Lebanese President Michel Aoun acknowledged that domestic positions have seemingly hardened between rival factions, most notably by Hezbollah and its political allies, who blatantly refuse any substantive reform.
نحن ما عنا بقى الطرف الوقت، يعني حضرتك قلت انه طرحت عدة امور ولم يتم الموافقة عليها. اذا ما تم الموافقة على هذا الموضوع نحن لوين رايحين؟
طبعا على جهنم. وقال فيش لزوم احكي هون.
Thank you for watching us. As part of TV7's prayer initiative, I would like to encourage you today to join myself and the team here in Jerusalem to lift up Trinidad and Tobago in prayer for its salvation and peace, in addition to our ongoing prayers, of course, for the peace of Jerusalem, the salvation of Israel, and for all those who are impacted by the corona contagion and its economic ramifications worldwide. I'm Jonathan Hassan, wishing you an Erev Tov, and we will see you again tomorrow at the same time.